apologize for my voice. This is part of the season in Lausanne this winter. I'm supposed to give you a few closing remarks. First of all, I'd like to commend all the speakers and congratulate Mr. May's description of all events, which I know from another angle. That night, I mean, it reminds me of tonight because I had a cold too in Atlanta. It was awfully hot and humid that night, and in my suite, because I was attached to a suite, you have to admit it as DG of the IOC, was ice cold, and I had a bad cold, and Dr. Shamash had told me, I'll fill you with pills and you sleep, and tomorrow you'll be better. At 1:30 or something, he called Mr. Carrard. I said, shit, and I hung up this ringing again, and that's the whole thing which started. What is, I think, and I was very interested to hear Mr. Lucas too, because I always wondered how you can ensure security. I mean, triathlon for me is a nightmare in terms of security. You have the cycle, I mean, you have the sea. I remember very well in Sydney, we were concerned with, it was the first time. And I was there, and our concern there was the sharks. So you see, I mean, that's another form of terror, there are sharks in Sydney. And since then, you do a lot of your championships in Switzerland. The lake here is still, you have a few crayfish, but no sharks. But I think some of the lessons which, from the standpoint of the event organizer, I remember very clearly, I mean, every games I have done 17, there were threats of terrorism or something. In '92 it was the ETA Barcelona, the Independentist, and so on and so forth. Okay. 94, Lillehammer, there was rumors of a special crew, this was never publicized really, of Palestinian terrorists who wanted to challenge the peace process which led to Dayton, and that there was a special hits team in the snows of Norway. I mean, game after game you have these threats. The danger for the organizers is that you consider that as you are the main target, all the police and agencies and services of the world are teaming, and so you are protected and safe, and you don't care so much about security. And I think that's the first lesson maybe of tonight's seminar, is to ensure from day one, when you start planning whatever event, it may be a small event, local event, to incorporate in the structure of your management someone who knows about something about security. And the second point, which is even more important, is to work hand in hand, and you said it, Mr. May, very well, public authorities and sports organizers. And there has been, in the Olympic movement and the sports community, a long-standing, I would say, doctrine to say, sports autonomy, sports specificity, we don't need the governments, we don't want the governments to step in. This was enhanced also in areas such as doping. Things have changed and changed a lot. And I think the partnership, public authorities and sports organizers, is absolutely fundamental. Then you have another aspect which you sometimes ignore. I live this, I'm chairman of the Montreux Jazz Festival. We have a security problem every summer there. We have 30,000 people every night who don't pay. We've had some violence and so on. The question which you are, as an organizer, confronted with, and the public authority as well, who pays? You said it, Mr. Who pays? The politicians don't want to pay. They want to get the medals when everything is fine, but they don't like to pay the bills. But then the sports organizers have an immense difficulty in putting numbers in their budgets for security, because they usually ignore everything. So I think there are many lessons. I think security is absolutely a fundamental issue. It will be more and more. I mean, we've had Howard Stubb sitting together. I remember 1993 session in Monte Carlo. There was another decision to be taken there. Nobody I think, ever really mentioned it. During the session, during the vote of the IOC session, 1993, we first had an incident in the morning. I came to make sure that the room was clean before the session started. It was done at the Summer Sporting or whatever in Monte Carlo Beach. And there were the leading cities. There was Beijing, there was Berlin, and those were eventually the Sydney Games. There was Istanbul. Have a few choices for some problems and so on. And I arrived, I was nearly alone. All the presentation, the stand of the Beijing bid was destroyed, totally destroyed, by the dogs sniffing for terrorists, for chemical, and apparently the paint they were using was the same as what you have in some bombs also. Created nearly a diplomatic incident because the Chinese thought that it was done on purpose. But I never forgot, and we were saved that morning by the fact that Albert, Prince of, now the ruler, was member already of the IOC. During the session, the chief of the police comes to me with the little paper. I had to walk out. Sarange was conducting the debate, ongoing the vote. Says there is a bomb, immediate, stop everything immediately and evacuate the Sporting. I went there, I spoke to the chief of the police. He said, we have all reasons to believe there is a bomb. We are going to give order. You must tell the members that you suspend and you resume later. I said, phew. And knowing the president, Sarange, who is not typically the guy who, you just, he was there chairing in front of the whole session, the cameras, the media, and so on. I thought this is not going to be an easy one. I went to him and I said, President, there might be a bomb, they say, we have to stop. No, never. I went back to the police chief and I said, I think he had even noticed that. I said, no way, we don't interrupt, we go with vote. In fact, we had reasons to think that those were some guys who had been agitated the night before for some of the future losing city or so. Anyhow, we did, the police said, if you don't stop, I will invade with my troops and I will stop. I cannot, I have no right to expose the security of the whole membership. So the last thing I did then, I called up Albert, who was not yet the ruler. His father was still alive. And I said, look, you have to help us, you're a member. Sarange doesn't want to stop, we can't stop. So Albert, as Prince of Monaco, told the police chief, you are released from your liability, you can be, and the session went on. Nobody ever knew that. Of course, we know exactly that some journalists were prepared. They were looking forward for the great moment of the IOC, incapable of voting in 1996. Those are small anecdotes. Anyhow, I think it was a very, very simple lesson, hand in hand with the public authorities. And if you're an organizer, you must have a competent person from the beginning, taking care of that, because this is a crucial issue in terms also of cost, of liabilities, of insurance, and be aware, and that's the best protection. That's the way you open to your umbrella. And I'm pleased to hear that I think the IOC has a new boss of security. I was just told since yesterday, I think, or something like that.
It's 3 weeks now, but it feels like
okay, well, I think it's one of the best news the Olympic movement has had for the last few weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, François. Last questions, or anyone with a burning question? Afterwards, of course, we can also discuss the cocktail, which will be downstairs. There, like the usual place. You are all invited. So please.
It's more a remark, because as a data protection officer, I've been auditing and interviewing some international federations. I'm surprised how naive And data protection not literate are the international federations. They can send very important documents. We've seen your document with security map of an event and a venue by mail as an open attachment, and sharing USB keys and having encrypted laptop disks which could be stolen or wherever. And upstream of everything we've seen tonight, I can see that there is a big lack of security with data protection. Not only data protection to protect the athletes, like anti-doping, even medical information, but everything which is linked to security, organizations, venues, architectural issues, etc., etc. And I can see a very big naive behavior of the federations about that. And
perhaps just one word about that. You are, I can say, 1 year sooner. It is the topic of our next conference.
Thank you for the introduction. It's true. Okay. Good point. Tom, please.
Yes, a small question from me on voluntary. It was mentioned before, foreseeable. Now, I think all the federations are confronted, especially these days, with events taking place in countries where attacks have taken place. And then, okay, the typical thing comes up that member federations contact you and say, oh, you should move it, and so on and so on. And then, okay, you have to base it on certain information to take a decision to cancel, postpone, or whatever. And okay, if you go on the internet and you look everywhere, well, based on the internet, on the places I've been, I should be there 20 times already. What would be, based on advice, the best places to go for information? Because, okay, we can go to the federal, either State Department in the US, we can find there what the US thinks, or we can go to Great Britain and find on the UK Foreign Office. But the moment it goes out of other languages, you're stuck. So is there a source of information available for IS to make a proper evaluation of the security risk and then take the right decision?
I think, Patrick, you have some information on that, and actually that's probably also a factor when you do all the preparation, the plan, and the risk assessment. Right?
Yes, there is a sort of data. First of all, the majority of the biggest reinsurer in the world maintains this data. Certainly the most well-known is the one from Lloyd's of London. I think you can reach this map. The map is changing every week. So it's not completely blocked. The Lloyd's of London is doing a very good job in this area. So you have, it's very simple. It's a map with different color, from white to red. So when it is red, don't go. And I think, if my memory is right, we can go link to reach this map.
Yes.
And Swiss Re also is doing the same thing. So you go to, certainly the two main sites is Lloyd's of London and Swiss Re. And you will find the map. And if you do not, I can give you the exact address.
Maybe, Raymond, you have also some advice, knowing not only your country, but the other countries. Where would you go as a events organizer first to get some fresh information, assess the situation?
Well, like the gentleman was saying, there is publicly available information for travelers on the State Department websites. But oftentimes, that's a generalized version that really can't be depended upon. The threats change dramatically from day to day. Now, oftentimes, a lot of that information that's put into that calculus is very boilerplate at best. It's not accurate, and the general terminology you hear all the time by assessments that's done is that there is no known threat to the event. But the reality is that I think that if organizations are determining for instance, I'll give you an example. I do security advisoryship for the United States Ski and Snowboard Association. And currently they have people competing and training all over the world. So they ask me, is there a threat in Italy? Is there a threat in Russia? Is there a threat? So they use the State Department website to determine whether they should send people to these countries. But at the end of the day, it's taking into consideration what that threat is. If it's a very high threat, they're probably not going to go. And that could change, like I said, from day to day. They have to make a decision if they're going to go, and then if they go, what things are going to be put in place while they're there to support their security. For instance, all their names, all their travel itineraries, what hotels they're staying at, notifying the law enforcement within that specific country and that community that know they're there. There could be some potential surveillance of them at certain hotels. All of these kind of precautions go into the quotient of making the final decision. But again, it's not an exact science. That's the bottom line.
And also the fact that you have to select the city 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 7 years before the event. Even if you go to the Lloyd's map, you will not find a solution for what will happen within 7 years. So it's a very difficult.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so thanks a lot for your participation, and we stay in touch. So invited to the cocktail, and thanks again to our partners, speakers, big applause.